Google Docs is great because it's free and it has some pretty nice features, but if you're not using them, you could be wasting some time. So, I want to share with you how I use Google Docs to have a nice workflow, starting with the outline feature. And you might be already using it too, but if you're not, all you need to do is go up to the View tab and make sure that Show Outline is selected. Find any of your chapter titles, hover over them, and then add either heading 1, 2, or 3 to it, and you'll see it pop up over here. Just make sure that for whichever heading that you choose, you make it the same for all of your chapter titles. What's really cool is if you do any styling to one of your chapter titles, let's make this bold. I can click on the heading that it is and update it, and now all of my chapter titles are updated. But that's not the cool thing I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you how I use the outline feature to let me know if I've finished with a chapter or not. And you may have already noticed it, but on chapter 1, I just wrote done next to it. Another option you can do is have some kind of emoji that you know what the meaning of it is. So I usually use a green emoji if I'm done with the chapter, or a red one if I'm incomplete with that chapter, or if I still need to work on it. And that's just a really quick visual way that I can use my outline to know what chapters I need to go back to before I'm finished with that draft. So this tip is all about page numbers, and even if you only have one page right now, please add in page numbers. That way it's one less thing you have to do once you're ready to send this to someone for feedback, or if you want to print this off and edit it yourself. So to do that, I'm going to double click on the header, click on Format, click on Page Number, and unclick Show on First Page, and make sure to start at 0. I'm doing this because my first page is actually going to be my cover page, and I want that to be page 0, and the first page of my actual story will start at 1. So this is a simple cover page. I didn't actually put in any information. But we also noticed that I put my name and the title of my novel. That way I know that this is mine. If I'm working with someone that's editing multiple files, they also know who they're working with. They know that they are currently working on mine and they can send back the correct edits. So this is just a nice way of putting your name on it and really seeing that this is your work. Also, if you're trying to do some traditional publishing, this is a common format that you'll have to send your manuscript in. This video isn't about formatting, but if you're curious about how to properly format your document, let me know and I can make a video about it. The last thing I want to talk about is just in general staying organized. So I am going to head on over to my main page for in my Google Drive. I usually use Notion, but I wanted to give you all an example of how you could just use Google Drive. I have my Project Sailor folder, and in this folder, I have my first draft, and I have another folder for characters. It's really important to keep things really separate, that way they don't get all mixed up. Imagine if I had 15 characters and 5 different drafts. It can be really annoying, especially when there might be other things that you want to have separate for your book as well. So in my characters folder, I made something for you all that is completely free and you don't have to give me your email or anything to get it. It is this character sheet and I have examples of how to use it. So here you can see that I have basic info, physical attributes, personality trait, a spot for a photo, your skills, goals, relationship, and this long other section. There's also a mood board that you can use as well to just throw in as many pictures as you want so that you can visually represent your character. My character likes tea and flowers and a more grunge and vintage aesthetic. This is just an example and not my real character, so if you feel inspired by anything here, that's totally fine. But then I have the blank version of this, so you can delete the examples if you want, and then just use the character info and mood board here, and you can duplicate this as many times as you want. So if you do end up downloading it, it'll be view only, so just make sure to click on File and make a copy, and this whole thing will be copied directly into your Google Drive. And if you do that, I highly recommend organizing that into a folder right away so that you're nice and organized and things don't get lost. I hope these tips help you use Google Drive more effectively. And don't forget, you can download for free with no email signup required that character sheet if you click on the link in the description below.